Welcome to Therapist A, where licensed professionals talk mental health, make mildly inappropriate jokes, and overshare just enough to keep things interesting and our licenses intact. Brought to you by Full Circle Therapy and Inner Wellness Therapeutic Services, and produced by me, Liz. Disclaimer, yes, we're real therapists, and yes, some of our clients listen, but this podcast, still not therapy. It's for education, entertainment, and a bit of chaos. So keep your weekly appointments and enjoy the show. Now, let's get into today's episode.
And welcome back to another episode of Therapist A. I'm your host, Mel.
And I'm your other host, Liz.
Your co-host, Barry. I'm sorry.
Good. Wow.
So much joy.
Joy.
Because you guys are cracking me up before we start.
Okay, well,
I can't
we're going to
be
leave that
serious
because
right
that
now.
was happy.
All right. Okay, cool. Because I make the videos, I have the luxury or torture of listening to them again and again and again as I make
Over and
shorts,
over.
right? Like I keep, I probably listen to every episode like 3 times by the time it's done. And I kept interrupting you, right? But the thing I was going to say is,
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, the book. I was talking about
You talked about the book, right? And how this woman, who I looked her up yesterday to make sure I got the name right, how she wrote this book, and she's a sociopath, right? Yet she's married and has a kid. Like,
yes.
I mean, do sociopaths love their kids? That would be my first question, right? But
she says she does in the book.
Good.
But the way that
good for her son.
Yeah, the way she explains it is
Good for him.
Or her. I didn't look at the picture. Well,
yeah.
It was just a small thing, and I was like, oh, child.
Her pictures are creepy. I feel they have no emotion.
I Googled her to get her name right.
Oh, I follow her on Instagram. If you look at the Instagram, it's crazy. It's really
I
cool.
don't know. But the point I was going to make is I don't know that I would ever call someone a sociopath unless they killed somebody. Right? Like,
you should read the book.
All right.
But it's more
I don't
like,
think I will.
He's so honest.
I'm just not I'm not that interested in it. But the point I'm making is,
a cool book.
When every person you named in the last episode had murdered people. I was trying to make that point, right? Even psychopath. Like, are we going to call someone a psychopath that's not murdering people? I get what you're saying. Her book and her premises, there are a lot of people out there that refrain from murdering people. They have the urge or the impulse and they don't do it. And they would also meet that criteria. But I guess this is going to blend into our approaches today, which is part of the question. But I guess because I come from like a mindfulness approach where your thoughts don't mean much, I don't know that I would call that person a sociopath unless they've done stuff against society. I don't know that I would see it that way.
Well, but she would.
I know she does.
Just not murder.
She does, right. Oh, she does things against society?
Yeah.
Oh.
She did, like when she was trying to figure herself out.
Just not murder.
Okay.
Just not murder.
Like what?
She used to go to parties in college and she would get her friends drunk or not friends really. It was like more guys and they would drink and then she would like scout out the ones that were like super, super drunk and take their keys and go for rides with in their cars and and take their wallets and like buy a bunch of snacks and like eat snacks while a joyride.
All right.
She would sneak into houses. She would steal. She would sneak in when people weren't home. She would sneak in, steal things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Yeah. I mean, that would be antisocial personality disorder to me. I don't know that I would. I mean, I see it's a line, right? And her argument is you can be on this side of the line where you haven't murdered people and I probably just wouldn't use the term. Like if I had a client that did those things, I wouldn't be like, you're a sociopath.
Well, I think that's why Liz's question was more about mainstream.
Because we wouldn't use that term.
Actually, since we're in shrink wrap, that was my daughter's feedback. Super fan Alexi. She said, well, no, actually what I wrote was different, but she said she had wished she had heard more about mainstream psychopathy and sociopathy. Yeah. She wished we had talked about that more. You know, we barely mention it. Like I mentioned, CEOs could meet the criteria.
Maybe some politicians could too.
I would think that would be, yeah.
Well, I think that's even how you're thinking about it right now, because you're saying you wouldn't call anybody in your practice a sociopath. But I think that is the clear difference between mainstream and clinical insight.
Yeah, to actually diagnose someone. Because
but Liz's initial statement was 1 in 25 people meet criteria
for antisocial personality disorder.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought it that high. She actually says 5% are sociopaths. I saw that when I Googled her.
Wow, that's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
That
That's
was
more than
her.
schizophrenia is
1%.
1%.
Yeah.
And so is dissociative identity
Yeah, it was
disorder.
something high. I remember when
Right.
I
It was
read the book.
5% when I Googled
Yeah,
yesterday. I Googled her yesterday.
She really talks
in
a
20.
lot about the empathy factor and the lack of empathy.
Right. What Alexi did say, since we're in shrink wrap, so the town she lives in is called Congus, and it was built before cars, so everybody walked everywhere, and that people still do. Like, that is a big part of it. And she said probably that in places like Madrid and Barcelona, maybe like the bigger cities, it's probably not as friendly and as community based. Right, even though it's Spain. And then she made the point, she had recently traveled to Singapore, and she made the point that they're even more asocial. Like, she couldn't order a coffee because you had to download an app to order the coffee. Like, you couldn't, there were two women working and they just kept saying, we don't have a cashier, we don't have anything, like, you have to download the app. And she couldn't download the app because she's in Singapore, and whatever the app store wasn't the same in Singapore. So she's like, I don't know if she ever got her coffee.
Probably not. Sounds
I'm
like
assuming not. Yeah, I'm
sounds like
assuming
she
not.
didn't.
Like, I probably would have just gave her coffee at that point if I saw a frustrated person.
That was
that's like,
that would be kind.
can't do anything. I mean, it just sounded awful. When I was listening, she had left it on a voice message, and I was like, wow, that's horrible. Oh, I have another thing. This is for Mel. I have an old friend who loves Michael Bublé.
Oh, you emphasized the old. Did you do that on purpose?
An old friend, as in you've been friends for a long time, or old as in age?
Friends for a long time.
Okay.
But if we've been friends for a long time,
maybe
they're also older than you. Older than I would. Like, when she says she likes Michael Bublé, I'm like, okay,
makes sense.
like I don't know Michael Bublé enough to say anything, but
I was the youngest person at the
for a
concert.
30
But
something,
she's loved him since she was 21.
I've loved him since I was 21.
I just
That's
don't.
true.
All right, I feel like that needs to be explored with your therapist. Maybe I don't know what that's about.
Her therapist is listening. You know,
he's a super fan. She's a super fan. Yeah, he or she is a super fan.
Yes,
all right,
they are a super fan.
And then I also wrote. I guess I wrote this. I thought about it, and it's very possible that I've worked with someone with antisocial personality disorder. They convinced me they weren't. Right. As one theory is, therapy just makes people with antisocial personality disorder better at manipulating. That's a very prominent theory. That's the theory in Sopranos, actually.
Wow.
So Dr. Melfi, some of her colleagues are telling her in The Sopranos that you're just making him a better psychopath or sociopath.
I can totally see that.
So I wanted to bring up that it's at least possible. Like, I'm sitting here going, no, I don't think I've ever worked, but it's very possible that I have, and I just didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Okay, ruining my practice some more.
Don't go to that guy that can't even catch a sociopath.
I mean, if they were murdering people, I would know. So, superfan Sabrina, this was about guilty pleasures. Your mom's going to hate the fact that shrink wrap is going to last like half the episode. But so one of the things Sabrina said, and I think this was more for me, but because my guilty pleasure was picking on people. Like, I was picking on a student in class today because they worry about getting caught absent. And I was like, the day you're not here, I'm just going to spend the whole class calling numbers until you get caught. I will make sure you get caught. She's like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they take me seriously, but my point is that I was picking on somebody else now that I don't pick on Stephanie anymore.
So now it's now you have like a whole pool of
Ramadan.
College.
I've given it up for all the religious holidays.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just picking on other people now.
He's not going to get the reference.
So Superman Sabrina said guilty pleasures are being the opposite of how we see ourselves. So I don't want to see myself as a bully or as someone that picks on people. That's why it's a guilty pleasure. You get it? I thought that made sense.
I totally agree. I think that's what makes it guilty, because it goes against what we would want to think.
And then I just have the one other thing that we discussed for 2 seconds before was I think super fan apnea, handling clients falling in love with the therapist, and that some of that came from the TikTok that
Mhm.
had gone around. I did not see it until she sent it to me, but it was a TikTok about a woman swearing her psychiatrist was in love with her. My students have brought that up, and I've just said, when I've seen it, from what I've seen, that woman seems to have a lot of issues, not to be stable. And,
Yeah.
we don't use the word crazy a lot, but she's crazy.
I didn't follow up on what ended up happening with that.
Me either. I only saw maybe the first, and I felt very frustrated as a therapist.
Yes.
Because we care about our clients. It's in such a box.
Yeah, and it's also about building rapport.
Uh-huh.
And there was something that she said that he said he liked her glasses or something.
Like giving a compliment.
Yeah, right. It's about building rapport and that therapeutic alliance and the
I've
relationship.
definitely complimented my clients before.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
But I think the superfan's question is, has that happened? Not to that delusional level that
well,
we
with
saw
one
on
of the
TikTok.
therapists here.
Oh,
I
you're
don't
not
know.
going to use yourself, Liz?
Well, I mean, no,
'Cause
no
Eddie
one's.
listens
No,
now.
I've never had anyone profess their undying love for me. But there was a situation, like here at the office, with one of the therapists where the client told them that,
Oh,
they love them.
yeah.
yeah, that they were very attracted
Oh,
to them.
it's not
And
unusual.
No, it's not.
yeah, and she handled it so
Like a champ.
beautifully.
Since I'm a qualified supervisor,
It's your
I-
super,
yeah, I see a lot of registered interns for their supervision hours. And now that I'm thinking, it's happened more than once with my registered interns. And I always give the advice that we have to be honest and we have to acknowledge if there's any
Mhm.
transference or countertransference.
I think it's very common.
It's very common because therapy is intimate. You're
Yes.
telling things to your therapist that you maybe have never told anyone
Mhm.
ever. And your therapist is trained to be empathetic and to understand and to,
Usually the
be a
things that you're
therapist.
not maybe even getting from a partner
Right.
or at home, like you may be getting that in therapy.
Right. In both cases, the therapist acknowledged what the client was feeling was normal and explained, like I just did in psychoeducation, about why this happens and maybe where these feelings are coming from. And I think that the key is to not be afraid
Mhm.
to talk about, this topic with your client, because I think maybe a lot of therapists are afraid that then the client will think that, or you don't want to offend the client, or you're like, oh, I should transfer them out.
Right.
And I remember that was one of the things that I talked with that therapist about, where I was like, this isn't a situation where you transfer them out, specifically her situation, right? There's other situations that I'm sure maybe it would be appropriate to do that. But in that situation, I was like, this isn't one to transfer out. This is something that you talk to the client about, see how you both feel. But I always think honesty is the best policy when it comes to those things. So, yeah.
Okay. So, yes, I think it isn't uncommon. Part of the reason I'm here right now is my class is taking a quiz. And in that exact class, they had asked about this. We were talking about the TikTok. And then a student said, so Barry, has anyone ever professed their love to you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, what? So a quiz question is, Barry is unlovable. He couldn't possibly, no client could ever possibly fall in love with Barry. You know what I mean? But I do usually tell a story of very beginning therapy. When I had first started, I was doing paperwork with a client and she told me she loved me, and I just pretended I didn't hear her at all. It scared the shit out of me. I just pretended. I was just like, okay, you can sign here, you know what I mean? Like, sign your treatment
But was
plan.
it like, Barry, I love you?
She was like, I'm in love with you. And I was like,
Sign here for consent, please.
not to love me, just
No, just like
I need
random paperwork.
documentation.
No,
of this.
documentation, yeah.
I have to document it. Yeah,
That's
that was
hilarious.
bad. I mean, it was when I was a drug and alcohol counselor. It was way back, before
That's
I had
funny.
gotten some training. Yalom, I know we haven't mentioned him in a few
Oh.
episodes. It's been a few episodes.
It has.
I mean, he does talk about that, though. And I think one of the things that I also express to my students is clients see my best self.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right? This is not who I am on
Yeah.
the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I am not this attentive to everyone all the time, right?
Right.
Like, I'm, whatever.
I feel like, if anything, I get that a lot working with couples,
Mhm.
because I'm sitting there and they're telling me all their problems, and then I'm, trying to say what's a healthier way of dealing with this. And then it's easy for them to think, wow, like your relationship must be great.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
because you just perfectly negotiate every situation, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't true at all, right? We're human.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else for shrink wrap?
I feel like I don't have anything for shrink wrap.
No,
today.
I don't have any notes from Mom.
Except for our stickers came in.
Yes.
Yeah, they're so cute.
So good.
I like them so much.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Eddie asked for a super fan. He was upset. He says he has listened to every single episode. He had only fallen off for a few episodes, and he's even been citing things that we said.
He tried to quote things that we
Yeah.
said. He says that he caught up.
I'll make a really hard quiz for him.
Yes.
He actually said he wanted to take the quiz.
I'm just kidding.
You
But
might
I
have
think
to.
I think in my own shrink wrap, I have to apologize to my husband for saying that he wasn't a fan. Yeah, because
you got in trouble for that.
He has been. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We love Eddie.
Wait, you want to know something funny?
What?
I don't know if this will get cut out. The maintenance person, we were getting
this was
from the maintenance person that they were going to have to report us because there was a black trail like leading from like the staff door apparently to the dumpster and
outside.
Yeah. And he asked one of the poor therapists like leaving like, what do they do in there? Because there is like a long trash mark and it smelled really weird.
He said it didn't smell like food.
Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum.
So they think you're chopping up bodies in here.
Precisely.
Yes. And dragging them out
Dragging them.
through Weston Town Center into the dump.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, no, sir. We're actually
spray coffee.
Yeah,
actually
that's what I was,
therapists.
Literally, when you guys were describing it, I was like, coffee grounds.
No,
Literally
it's
coffee.
the Cuban coffee. Because when it gets it's
my
the Cuban
gosh.
coffee for sure.
Why didn't we think of that before?
I just thought of that because Barry helped me. Like he helped me
Well,
put it
she
together.
said it first, and then I was.
You
like,
said ground.
Is that not ground?
It is. No,
Does
no,
Cuban
it
coffee
is.
not have grounds?
Yeah,
Yes,
but it's so
the
strong.
Oh, right. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, that is what it was.
100%.
Oh, okay. So you hearing that? It was.
We do not murder people here.
I'm assuming he doesn't listen.
No, he doesn't speak English.
He's not a super fan.
Your maintenance guy is not a super fan. Get on that. Literally, this is how bad I am. Before you guys got here, I had come in here, realized I forgot something in the car, went out to get it. It was my phone, actually. Right? Went back out to get my phone. And there was a guy when I came back in, Stephanie, the secretary, had said, hey, this guy was your student. And I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I remember you, fun class. And I was like, oh, I do a podcast here now with the owners. Like, I work podcast into every conversation. Okay? What are you guys doing? Your maintenance guy doesn't listen.
You're right. No.
Right.
You win.
But my husband listens.
All right. Good.
Good thing.
Get on it. Get on the maintenance guy.
All right. Is that a wrap with
Shrink wrap?
How long was that?
We've been talking for a long time.
I mean, a lot of it's getting cut out.
I feel like that was a whole hour.
All my funny stuff is going to be cut
I
out.
think it's been half an hour.
Doesn't matter. Wow, half. Your mom is going to not.
She's not going to like this.
All right. So this is from Superfan Nina. I have mentioned so many Superfans today. Did you see my list?
You have a long list.
Barry has a list.
I have like 18 or 19 Superfans. Not me, our show.
Yes.
Our show has just from Superfan Nina. This is a few weeks ago, but probably more. I'm not going to look. It says, for one of your podcasts, I'd like to see you all take personality tests and maybe discuss how different personality styles influence therapeutic orientation or client conceptualization. Particularly, I'm interested in Mel's and Liz's personality styles and how they differ since they are siblings and both therapists.
They're very different personality.
Very.
Right. And she went on and said the attachment podcast was just so good. I think it would be a great addition. So that's what we're doing. So I asked which personality tests because, okay, I just want to throw this in there. A couple of our super fans are PsyD students at Nova.
Interesting.
Right.
Cool.
They were my students in the past. Maybe I mentored a little bit and now they're like.
So they do a lot of testing.
So Nina is one of those. She's Yeah, they do testing
A lot,
right?
yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
that
most
makes
of the
sense.
we don't do testing as therapists, so our tests are like the online version,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
We're not going to go to a psychologist and get tested, right?
Mhm.
So we did online versions. The three of us have all done the new personality self-portrait, which we mentioned in the last podcast. So I
Yes.
feel like it's a great time for this, like perfect
Yes.
timing coming off the last podcast where we talked about adventurous style being in line with antisocial personality disorder. And then the three of us took the Myers-Briggs. It's called the Jungian typology. A lot of people have beef with that. I'm going to give like a little education. Like psychology right now is in love with the big five. Everything I see research wise, big five, big five, big five. It's like the newest fad and the best one. They used to love the Myers-Briggs. They don't anymore. One of the things I saw is part of that is because Myers and Briggs weren't even college students. They were just two women, a mother and daughter, I think,
Oh,
that
wow.
decided to do this. It is based on Jung's work, though. So we all know that one. Like basically, it's introverted, extroverted, thinker, feeler on a continuum, right? Sensing, intuiting, and judging, perceiving, which Myers and Briggs added in. That wasn't a Jungian type. And then we also took the big five, right? Or a version of the big five. So the question was more geared toward you guys. I will definitely say my part at some point, but
To win
what do you
your
think?
self-disclosure trophy.
I've already won that, I think.
It's on his mantle.
You should be ordering it to give me.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. When's your birthday?
I don't know.
Oh my God, when's your birthday? We
I
don't
have no
know it.
idea.
Fine, I'm
I
gonna
know
text
I
Sabrina.
put your guys in
Keep
here,
forgetting.
but yeah, it was so long ago. How am I supposed to remember that? So your personality styles and how it affects your client conceptualization, like your approach, basically. Like, what is your approach?
Okay, well, my approach is psychodynamic and solution focused
Okay.
most of the time.
Psychodynamic and solution focused. Okay.
Yes, I say a lot that I like to deep dive into your childhood and your past and even your parents' upbringing, and then I like to do something about it. And that's like kind of where the solution
But
focus comes in.
the question though is how does your personality lend itself to that?
Right. So
Myers-Briggs?
the Myers-Briggs.
Jungian typology.
Right. Yeah. So mine was ENFP. Do you like know them like off the top of your head?
Yeah. That's extrovert, intuitive, feeling, perceiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course I know them.
And then the percentages is that
Yeah, like this one gives you percentages because basically if you were 0, that's dead center. So you're neither introverted or extroverted, right? Like you're dead center. So the closer you are from, I think on this it's 100 to 0. So the closer you are to 0, the more balanced those two components are in you.
Okay. So my extrovert was 44, so that was pretty high. And then intuitive 12, feeling 3, and perceiving 19.
Okay.
Okay, so it says ENFPs often have strong, if sometimes surprising, values and viewpoints. They tend to try to use their social skills and contacts to persuade others gently of the rightness of these views. This sometimes results in the ENFP neglecting their nearest and dearest while caught up in their efforts to change the world.
Well, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, so very accurate. If we're going to talk about being a therapist, again, I'm pretty enthusiastic and I give my all when I'm doing therapy, and then I feel drained when I go home. So I think that goes in line with this. It also says ENFPs can be the warmest, kindest, and most sympathetic of mates. Affectionate, demonstrative, and spontaneous. Many in relationships with an ENFP literally say they light up my life. I'm
Does
sure Joe
say?
would say that. But there's of course you would. But there's usually a trade-off. The partner must be willing to deal with the practical and financial aspects of the relationship, and the ENFP must be allowed the freedom to follow their latest path, whatever that entails. Guess that was about relationships? I don't know. But anyways, I felt like it definitely went with my personality.
But why does that like I felt like you did a great job of explaining like why you're a therapist, right? And how your attitude and the way you function according to the Myers-Briggs like affects therapy. But why do you think your personality lended itself to psychodynamic and solution focused in any way because of any of the aspects of the personality? Like that's because that's the question, right? The question is why do we do therapy the way we do it, and how does it differ between us, right? As we all have probably different personalities to large extents.
I feel like I got more of the answer to that question with the Big Five when I was reading through the Big Five. So with the Big Five, I scored. Okay, so with this one, there's obviously 5 different categories, and it's neuroticism,
right,
extroversion, openness to experience, agreeableness, and conscientiousness.
right.
Neuroticism, this is indicating that you are exceptionally calm, composed, and unflappable. You do not react with intense emotions, even to situations that most people describe as stressful, which is totally me. And like anyone can tell me anything and I will literally still be calm and collected. Like anything could be happening. Like
to a point that it's a little annoying.
Yeah.
To a point that it's not the appropriate response.
Yeah. Like one of Liz's children could be trying to jump off of the roof of the house.
That happens.
Like crazy things like that
My kids
happen.
do.
And everybody else will be like running around with a chicken without a head. And I'm super calm and collected. I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like, how am I going to solve this problem?
Making it sound like it's more appropriate response than sometimes.
Well, that's what's going on in my head. I think to the outside world, they're like, oh, she's crazy. Like, what is she doing? She's just standing there.
Right. Why isn't she worried like everyone else? I think that's Liz's point. Why are you not having a strong emotional reaction?
Like, in my head, it's how do I fix this problem? What can I do to take control of the situation and fix it? And that's part of the solution focus. Someone will sit there and tell me the craziest, most intense situation that they're in, and I'm just thinking the whole time, what are the options to get through this? So that's where solution focus comes in for me.
All right.
What?
I was like, ours are going to be really different.
Yeah, we're extremely different. Yes, absolutely. My extroversion was 106. So that's, I'm
I don't even know what the scale is.
pretty outgoing. The max is 120.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm pretty.
Yeah, you already
outgoing.
covered that.
Yeah, covered that.
Extroversion's the same as the Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
Like it's the same.
Yeah. And then openness to experiences, 74. Pretty high. I like to do fun things. Agreeableness, 89. Even higher than open to experiences. So the agreeableness is I could read it here. It says indicates a strong interest in others' needs and well-being. You are pleasant, sympathetic, and cooperative. Again, someone could tell me about their past, something that they did, and I will literally sit there and completely understand why they made the decisions that they made and help them understand it themselves. That's literally what I do in couples therapy all day long. The last one is conscientiousness, and it's 100. I scored 100 on that. And that means you set clear goals and pursue them with determination. People regard you as reliable and hardworking. Amen to that.
All right. I think you did.
That's me.
Okay. All right. What about you, Liz?
My therapeutic orientation would be trauma-informed, IFS, internal family systems. And I do dabble a little bit, I would say, also in psychodynamic because of like childhood traumas and things that happen to us and trying to understand. So I would say those 3, but mostly trauma-informed and IFS with my clients. So mine is ISFJ, introverted, sensing, feeling, judging.
Yours is the complete opposite of mine, except for the feeling one.
Yes. As you were talking, I was like, that's why I think I'm a little thrown off right now with reading mine, because I was thinking about myself while you were talking, because I was like, oh my God, they are so drastically different. ISFJs are characterized above all by their desire to serve, their need to be needed. In extreme cases, this need is so strong that standard give and take relationships are deeply unsatisfying to them. Absolutely. However, most ISFJs find more than enough with which to occupy themselves within the framework of a normal life. So they are very much bounded by the prevailing social connections. Their form of service is likely to exclude any element of moral or political controversy.
Mm-hmm.
They specialize in local, the personal, and the practical.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that it's 10 out of 10. Me.
What careers did it give you?
It gave me social work, education, child care management.
I think social work would be the therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's
paralegal.
funny though is that we're so different, but it still gives the same careers.
I feel like introverts and intuitive are going to get therapy
Yeah.
as like some form of therapy, because both of those, you're an extrovert, you're an introvert, but you had intuitive and you had sensing. I feel the common denominator is either introverted or intuitive, because I'm introverted and intuitive, and I also have therapy as mine.
I felt like the big five explained why I chose or I've fallen into like these theoretical orientations, because anxiety was the highest. If the scale is to 20 and mine was to 20. But the reason why I do think these relate to why I chose trauma informed is because I do highly care about how somebody is feeling, and I want to help them understand all of those very big feelings that come with trauma. So you don't really find a solution to your trauma. I can't really tell you, like, here are your options. It's a little different. And it's more exploring and trying maybe to explain and understand why something happened and how we can get more so of a resolution towards it, not necessarily an actual solution. And so that's why I felt like for me that helped explain a little bit more why I chose those. And I'm trained in EMDR, and EMDR is very heavily on emotions and usually a specific traumatic event. And I think that also comes back to my personality of wanting to explore those events with people and not necessarily find solutions to them.
Just
reprocessing. I think that's really important to me, is reprocessing.
Do you think it's like because you have like you scored pretty high in neuroticism, and then you are like a lot of your work is helping people regulate their emotions? It feels like maybe you were attracted to that because you want to regulate your own emotions.
And I think I understand it. I understand why somebody could have a big emotion to something, because I have felt those feelings before. And I think that's something that my clients like about me.
What was your extroversion?
My extroversion was low, indicating you are introverted, reserved, and quiet. You enjoy solitude, solitary activities. Your socialization tends to be restricted to a few close friends. I would say that is accurate in adulthood. I would say that's pretty accurate. The next one,
openness to experience,
was even lower, indicating you like to think in plain and simple terms. Yeah. Others describe you as down to earth, practical, and conservative.
The agreeableness?
My agreeableness was really high. That one was 84.
Okay. And the conscientiousness?
Was 84 also. Those were the same for me.
Yeah.
Which meant mine was high. So that means that you set clear goals and pursue them with determination. People regard you as reliable and hardworking. So that was similar for us. That last one.
We're similar in those. I think the first two are the ones that
we're very different about.
So since the question was about you too, right? Do you see, okay, so you're psychodynamic and solution focused, and your internal family systems and trauma informed predominantly, right? Do you see how your personalities, if I was your supervisor and I was like, okay, now you have to do IFS, how, like, do you feel that wouldn't match your personality?
No, I feel like I could definitely do it because of my agreeableness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, yes, sure, let's go.
You know, like, because I feel like I would struggle with, I've read internal family systems, like the idea. I think there are multiple parts to all of us, multiple selves, I actually say.
Ego states. There's even different ego states of us.
Of course. And I love that, right? It comes out of evolutionary psychology as well. But the whole let's talk to that part is like, that's so corny for me. Like, I just view that as like.
Do you have a high imagination? Are you able to imagine?
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I don't. I'd have to look at my scores because I wasn't as impressed with the big five.
And I think we liked it
and I
You
more.
liked
guys
it
seem to
better.
have loved it. I was
Yeah.
reading. I was like, this is bullshit.
Oh no, I liked it
Sorry.
better than the other one.
I did too. Yeah, I got stuck when we first were talking because it kind of like threw me off a little bit. But I feel like there's an exercise I do with my clients, primarily ones who have had a lot of trauma, who we suspect there is some kind of dissociation going on. Not necessarily like dissociation is on a continuum, on a scale. There is an exercise I do with them that we try to go inside. And I feel like if I were to try to do that with Mel, I do feel like she would be able to follow along with it.
Yeah,
but I guess my question is because of our fans' question, right? Is how has our personality affected the way we conceptualize clients and the way we approach therapy? And what I'm hearing you guys say is even though you're vastly different in a lot of ways on the Myers-Briggs and on the Big Five, you have differences, you would be fine doing each other's therapy. And to me,
I mean, I don't know so
feel
much
like-
about solution focused for me, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I feel like I am definitely a highly emotional person, and that does reflect in my practice. I'm very in tuned or aware of emotions. I mean, most therapists are, but I think I might take it a notch higher than other people. I think I'm also very aware in session of body language and energy and people kind of like shifting, or even when somebody comes in my office and sometimes like I'll spend some time in session talking to my client, hey, like you came in and like, are you okay? Like what's going on? Because I think I'm really in tune to the emotions and what someone's feeling or what someone is presenting. And I do feel my personality has influenced that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Your turn.
Right. So I got INFJ, but mine were very balanced. My introversion and my judging were the two highest at 19, which is still low out of 100. My introversion was 19%. So I feel because I push myself to be out more, to be more outgoing, and I can be outgoing, I know I have that, that my introversion has become more balanced. Like I used to probably be more introverted than I am.
I was going to say that I do feel like our personalities can change.
Of course. And I think Jung would say that they should. We should be working toward balance.
Yeah.
Right? So if that's correct, then I'm doing pretty well because my intuition is 6%. Feeling is 9%. And then judging over perceiving. Judging and perceiving isn't what it sounds like. It's more about spontaneity, and it's about like perceiving people are more spontaneous, judging people prefer more plans. Like you got judging?
I got judging.
Yeah.
Mine was 25%.
I would see you as judging because you're very conscientious. You like order, you like plans, you know. So that's what judging has more to do with. Perceiving has more to do with spontaneity and like flying by the seat of my pants. Like we'll see when we get there, you know. Like a lot of times
Definitely not me.
A lot of times in class I give the example of when you go on vacation, the person has the itinerary versus the person that's like, well, just take it as it comes. You know what I mean? The person that's taking it as it comes is P, perceiving, and the person that has the itinerary is J, generally. But I was pretty balanced in that. Like I think I like a plan, but I'm also I also don't like everything structured. And so what it says about me, like you guys read, which I don't 100% agree with. It says is characterized by compassion, idealism. I used to be very idealistic. I think that's why I'm so cynical. Like I used to think I was very idealistic in my young adulthood, and then I don't know. I've just gotten like, yeah, people suck, so forget it. And then intuition, obviously, and a strong sense of purpose to help others and make a positive impact in the world. People argue this is just Barnum effect. You say some nice, like you want to help the world. Yes, I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Barnum effect. Thoughtful, sensitive, empathic. I think some of that is accurate. Perfectionistic. I'm also very conscientious, so I feel like that can border on perfectionism. I've worked on that a lot in my life. I don't think I'm as bad a perfectionist as I used to be. And then for the Big Five, I wasn't as impressed as you guys are. I got pretty low, 69 for neuroticism. I think it's pretty low. Like it said I'm calm, cool. I don't know. I like Liz did. I think when I took pictures of the actual, like, the feelings that go into neuroticism, and I scored high in anger.
Yeah,
right?
I have that
Like,
too.
I feel like I am angrier
Angry.
than I'd like to be. Right. I worked on it a lot in my life, and I try to be more chill. I'm not
My
anxious.
anger was pretty high too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It had my extroversion at 78. I don't know if I agree with that. Openness at 78. I tell people when I explain the big five in classes, I say I'm not that open to experience. Like when I go to a restaurant, I know what I get at that restaurant. I don't try other things. Like this is what I get here. I come here because this is what like today, like I'm thinking Flanagan's today for the thing I get at Flanagan's, right? Just that thing I get at Flanagan's.
What do you got at Flanagan's?
It's some kind of butter lemon tilapia.
Oh,
It's so good. I
sounds
really
great.
like it. Yeah, it's like my new favorite thing besides sweets. And then agreeableness was also way too high for me because I am not that agreeable. It gave me 82.
No.
You're not at
You're
all.
not at all
No.
agreeable.
I think
because mine was
the
84.
questions, right?
Yeah.
The questions, the thing that was asking me, and I was like, yeah, do I get along with others? Yeah, I do. If I want to, you know what I mean? I can be friendly 100%. Do I want to get along with others? Not so much. Like I want them to stay away from me for the most part,
Yeah.
right? But I'm a therapist, and I love my
Right.
clients, and I work hard for my clients. So I feel like some of this was skewed. Like the questions weren't as good as I hoped,
Yeah.
honestly. Conscientiousness, it was my highest one, actually. 93 for conscientiousness, which is accurate because when I took the new personality self-portrait, I also scored conscientious. Oh, what is my approach? How do I conceptualize problems? So I don't know if my personality has played a big part. I do agree that it plays my part in what I don't like. Like I've eliminated, I like internal family systems as a theory. I don't like it in application. There's no way I'm going to be like, if I was Mel's therapist, there's no way I'd be like, Mel, let's talk to that fire starter part or whatever that part is. Aren't they fire starters?
I do it all the time.
Something like that, right? No, like, no, that is so not me, right?
Yeah.
So I think my personality has affected ones I've been like, nope, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. I think what has affected me the most in choosing my approach is my experience in life and what has helped me, right? So I'm very into mindfulness. I believe mindfulness has helped me immensely, changed who I am, in my opinion. And approach that I use a lot in therapy is acceptance and commitment
I see
training,
that.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Acceptance and commitment therapy, because, you know, it's like, are we going to change this or are we going to accept it? Can you change it or are you going to accept it? What are the options, right? Or leave it, right? That's acceptance and commitment therapy. I'm very in, like, who do you want to be and how do you behave that way more regularly? So that comes more from my experience, I think. I mean, ACT is kind of an offshoot of cognitive behavioral. When I was in school, I was very attracted to cognitive behavioral. I think even though I didn't score thinking, right? I scored feeling, but it was very close to the middle. And I think I used to score T, and I think I was attracted to it because it's logic, right? Like cognitive behavioral therapy is logic. Acceptance and commitment therapy to me is logic. Like, who do you want to be? How do you behave more in line with that?
Yeah, I feel like it's similar to solution focused.
Yes, I agree. And I feel like that's why you're attracted to a solution focused is you're a thinker.
Right.
Like you're like when her child is about to jump off the roof, you're like, how do I solve this problem?
Yes.
Right. Logic, not emotion.
The day that her daughter ate, what was it?
Fly repellent.
Yeah, some sort of
pebbles,
repellent thing. And because our parents basically live on a farm.
Well, they do.
A barn.
They do. They have horses and
so sometimes the flies get in the house. And so my mom put a bowl of fly repellent, these little blue pebbles, and we were all having dinner, and little Miss Violet went missing for 5 minutes. When Liz went to look for her, she was sitting on top of the dining room table, like eating the fly.
Swimming almost in this fly repellent. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Is this toxic? And our mother ran in a circle with the baby, took the baby. No, this is like real life though. Like
I'm sorry.
ran in a circle, somehow just stood in the garage. I mean, it happens.
She knows.
She knows.
Okay.
There was another
All right.
situation where she did something
She
similar.
just runs around like a chicken without a head. I tell her all the time when those situations happen.
My
And
dad disappeared.
I'm more like him. He went to the barn to go look for the container where the fly repellent was so that we could read the container and see if it was toxic.
Right.
So he
Makes
went
sense.
straight to the barn to look for it. I was the last one sitting at the table. Everybody got up running around and I stayed sitting down.
I was frozen.
In my head thinking, what is it that we have to do? I got up when I realized that I have to look at the container to see if it says it's toxic to children, and then I would call poison control. So my dad came inside the house. I took the container from him. There was a big picture of a baby with a giant X on its face. And then I grabbed my phone and called poison control. And I was calm, collected.
And you gave her like, what's that called? It's the thing that makes kids throw up.
No, we didn't
No.
have to. No.
I called poison control. Poison control asked me what was it that she consumed. I told her, and poison control told me that she would be fine, that
It wasn't enough. Like the
It wasn't enough,
ingredients, like
yeah.
it's
Right.
mostly like a choking hazard to them. Is
Mhm.
mostly why
Okay.
they put.
They put the
Yeah.
baby with the
I just froze and I was like, somebody just tell me what to do, because my
Mhm.
mom was freaking out. And I was like, if we need to go to the hospital, somebody just tell me to put the kid. Like I freeze and I can't make those decisions. Like
Mhm.
someone just tell me this is what we're doing and I will do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot how we got here. But
Because you're logical.
oh yes, very
Oh,
logical.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
so you take a more
And my
logical
emotions
approach
froze
with
me.
clients,
Mhm.
right?
But
I don't know how this whole story related to
Mhm.
working with clients, but yeah,
Mhm.
because they generally don't come in having eaten poisonous things.
well, maybe they
That's
have
not-
children now.
that's
They
not-
can talk to Mel
that's-
about how to.
Right.
Poison control is very friendly.
That's okay. So, all right, but so you're more logical. I feel like I used to be very logical. I feel I still am more logical,
Feel
even
like
though I
you
scored
are.
F, because I'm not afraid of feelings, and I do think
Mhm.
feelings need to be felt. Yeah,
Mine was a 3.
I think the other thing,
Just
the way-
closer to 0.
right? Yeah, it is very
Mhm.
close. I think the way I conceptualize clients, like that's a tough question. I have a very existential approach also, which I didn't
Mhm.
mention, right? When I was mentioning approaches, because it's not so much an approach as it is a philosophy about why people are in therapy, and it's because of these existential issues
Mhm.
usually.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think a lot of my choice in regard to how I see clients and how I conceptualize clients, let me be more clear, how I conceptualize their issues and the therapies I do are because of my experience and how that has affected me. And then I think that'll be good for other people.
I feel
I
similarly.
don't know that my,
I feel
Yeah.
similarly to that.
I mean, my personality, when I take the test, obviously it says I could do therapy. Also the adventurous, I think one of the ways that works for me and helps me as a therapist is there is a lot of novelty in therapy. You're constantly getting turnover of clients.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? New people coming, so I feel like that's helpful. Like it's not like you're doing the same job all the time. It
Okay.
also drove me to stop doing just addiction treatment, because after a while of addiction treatment, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this, like, I got this, like, I need something
Mhm.
new,
Mhm.
which is openness to experience, is novelty, but also adventurous, is very into novelty.
What works for us is usually what we lean into for our clients. I feel like
Okay,
part
yeah.
of the personality type of
Right.
what we choose.
How we ended up, right? Because they say, joke that I hear on podcasts is research is me search. People choose to research what they're interested in because of their lives. And I think most people get into psychology to figure out what's wrong with them or their family.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I know that sounds horrible,
But it's really
however
the
it
truth.
sounds. Yeah, I don't know many people that are like, I'm going to do psychology because why? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, if you're really interested in it, it's usually because you've had some experiences in your life that have drawn you to it.
Pretty much always.
Yeah. And I think that, like, rather than taking personality tests, I know the person that asked the question is in a PsyD program and they're very evidence based. Like,
Uh-huh.
we need but I think, if I was going to describe my personality without a personality test, I don't think I'm the typical therapist. Like, most male therapists I know are a little touchy feely. I'm more like stereotypical male,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but also a therapist. I think a lot of my male clients like that.
Mm.
There are male, like Albert Ellis was like, I don't know if you've seen videos of Albert
Mhm.
Ellis, but he was like a little shit stirrer, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
He's like, you're crazy. Like he would say shit
Yeah.
and people would laugh because he
Mm.
was confrontational and
Yeah.
funny. And I've seen a couple male therapists in my life, and some of them have been like not like the stereotypical male therapist, but I also do feel in this field there are a lot of the stereotypical male therapists
Mhm.
also. And I feel like that helps me in a way, with at least with my clients. I had a couple session, the guy got there before the woman, and we were talking about the Dolphins loss, and you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we're shooting the shit about football before his wife got there.
Dolphins
Yeah.
suck these days.
Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying, basically.
Yeah.
Funny.
But then I like their coach. I think he's funny.
McDaniels.
Yeah, I think he's funny.
Okay, well, I think this
Is that it?
leads us to the end.
All right.
All right, that's a wrap of another episode of Therapists Say. I'm your host, Mel.
I'm your other host, Liz.
I'm the co-host, Barry.
The end.
Goodbye.
Until next time. And that's a wrap on this episode of Therapists Say. Your copay is emotional vulnerability and a 5-star review. Whether you're here for the chaos, the clinical insight, or just to feel better about your own life choices, then thanks for hanging out. New episodes drop monthly, so don't ghost us. Follow along and come back for more rants, realizations, and whatever this is.